Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's video is dedicated to the Raiders, the fine folks who helped make this series possible. With special thanks to Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Dragon Matrix 7, Exsellsior, Lima, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to the Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous beta one last time. As of the moment I'm recording this, we're about 10 days out from the game's full launch, so it's about time to bring our early access adventure to an end. That said, I am intent on making sure we at least take down Nulkeneth before we officially wrap this series, so we've got a fair amount left ahead of us. We've got to get up this mountain, we have to rescue Queen Galfrey, and I think we're still missing Regil and Waljef, and then fight our way through the monastery itself, so let's not waste any time. We'll jump right in. Interesting. Help! Somebody help! A wounded warrior lying among the mutilated, lifeless bodies cries out for help. It's hard for her to shout. Her cheek is torn and her teeth are showing through the wound. Eek. She won't last long without your help. Seela throws out her arm in a warning gesture and whispers out of the corner of her mouth. Not bodies. Ghouls. Oh, okay. Which I assume is what that perception check was about. I wonder if we didn't have Seela with us, and we flubbed that check, if the ghouls actually would take us by surprise. You know, that might actually be an abstract representation of the paladin's innate ability to detect evil, which isn't otherwise implemented in the game. We'll need to do this quick if we want to actually save her.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Nice. Okay, just gotta keep that going. That's 2 down. Too close to charge. Not great. That is 4. And 5. Yeah, we've got this.
You won't survive me.
Praise Sarenrae. Thank you, Commander. You are quite welcome. Again, I have no idea if that actually makes any difference in the long run. It is a single soldier. But it sure does make you feel good. Oh, and yet more ghouls. Dang it. I think Cam got tripped up on Darren. But that one worked. Hey, Regil. What's up, man? You know, I don't think they actually need our help. But obviously we're not going to sit this out.
I will see to your demise.
Oh yeah, they're fine. They totally could have done this without us. No point in wasting a spell. And we're done. Stop whining. Raise your weapons, ready your defense. You, wounded, hold your torches up. Did the Queen send us soldiers? Looks more like a sewing circle. Commander. As he sees you, Regil throws his fist in the air. Despite some claw wounds, he's chipper and full of fighting spirit. Ready to report on the situation. We organized an escape. There are no fewer than 36 gargoyles and ghouls in the fortress. We lacked sufficient forces for a confrontation, so we withdrew. Gargoyles and ghouls? Why do you think they stick together? Could it be because their names sound similar? Maybe if a ghoul bites a gargoyle, it turns into a gargoyle? Wow, Ember. Get out of my head. Why don't you ask them yourself? Better to torment our enemies with your gibberish than us. Look, a Hell Knight stooping to help his allies. I never thought I'd be glad to see your face, Regil. I will always preserve the lives of allied forces. If you thought in terms of efficiency and achieving your goals, as every fighter should in this war against the demons, you would be far less surprised at my actions. How did you escape? Gargoyles are used to dealing with weak and poorly trained fighters. Civilians near enough. During our first battle with them, we weren't at our best. But while they grew confident in their victory, we studied their habits. They become vulnerable when they are preparing to land. It's a simple matter to free yourself from their claws. The rest is a question of skill. Those gargoyles just won't leave your unit alone. It's not about my unit, Commander. The gargoyles seem to know precisely in which tents to find their targets. And another thing, do you recall the fire at the camp? Gargoyles don't have any incendiary weapons. The flames were what guided them to us. I don't know what Commander Tirabate and her celebrated watch are getting paid for. It's clear as day there's an enemy spy in your camp. Wow, Regil, on top of things. I respect that. What's going on in the chapel? It's a slaughterhouse. Even I almost threw up. That demon, you see, just killing and eating his victims isn't enough for him. He's inventive. Regil exhales the last word with disgust. This can promise nothing good. All right, send your fighters to the foot of the hill. The survivors are gathering there. consider it done. Am I to retreat with them, or come with you? Retreat with your people. Affirmative. You know, as abrasive as he can be, there is no denying that Regil and his Hell Knights have weathered the recent spate of disasters a whole lot better than our guys have. Yeah, case in point. Rusty blades and jagged shards protrude from a pile of broken weapons and armor. Well, that doesn't sound very comfortable.
Forget it.
Thank you, Commander. No problem. Lan, you might want to get a tetanus shot. Moving up. Ah, hi. Well, this looks to be just a straight-up fight. I'll bet we've got more coming in behind us. Huh. Okay, so no reinforcements. Oh, that's interesting. I think because Kaiser was the one who did the movement action, Creed still had a full action to perform the coup, because otherwise he should have been too far away for it. How do we get down there? Inheritor, do not leave me here in the darkness. Deliver me from evil. I used to pray to that fool too, but what's the point? Things got so much better after I renounced her. Remember how many years we've been friends? Should we really let religion come between us? This army is more fun than the Crusaders. Come on, friend, renounce her. Come to us. All our friends are already here. Renounce her, or we'll devour you. I will not fear evil, for you are with me, Iomade. Hey, look at that. We'll win. We'll live to see the dawn. Well, it is about time the Crusaders actually racked up a win here. The Hell Knights were really showing them up.
Let's have some fun.
More ghouls. Cool.
Endure this.
Okay, let's get eyes on. Nothing we can't handle. Nice shot. Oh, no, now we are slightly more serious. That is a succubus. Ember is not in a great spot right now, but the succubus is a slightly higher priority. That'll do. Oh. I think we locked up. Now we just need to take some pressure off Ember. A Cabriri cultist. Yeah, that does make sense. Always nice to have some variety. And to have someone to put to sleep every once in a while. Wow, we are just humming through these encounters all of a sudden. I see. That must be how we get down to the bottom. Though I do suppose that is a lower priority at the moment. Really? Are we doing this again? Oh, I get it. The cultist is bait. And then once we charge in to attack him, all those ghouls spring up and tear us to pieces. Well, that didn't work out quite the way I wanted it to.
Make every strike count. Precision and grace.
Wow, 3 successful charges in a row. Oh, no, I do not like that. Oh, wow. What? What in the world just happened? Okay, hold on. Oh, I see. Okay. It was like a cascade effect because all 4 combatants there have precise strike. Creed started it with a crit, which triggered attacks of opportunity for the other 3. But then Sela also landed a crit, which triggered more attacks of opportunity. Especially with Layla, because she has combat reflexes.
I'll cut you wide open.
I might see if I can refine that for the launch series. We are running a hunter after all, which is pretty ideal for a precise strike cascade. Let's ignore the Huntmasters for a second. I think they might actually be broken. What? Oh, right, the voice of the hollow effect. Wow. So it actually does work. And yeah, the Huntmasters do appear to be broken, so we'll just focus our attentions elsewhere. Nice. And we're done. Just gotta mop up these stragglers.
The spirits demand your blood.
Oh, right, and that guy too. I totally blanked on him. Sorry, Lan. There we go. Another epic battle under our belt. Honorable Judgment. +2 axiomatic gnome hooked hammer. If the wielder has the lawful alignment, the first hit that they land on a creature with chaotic alignment will deal an additional 1d6 holy damage. Well, that seems like a lot of qualifiers for what otherwise amounts to a holy weapon. But sure, yeah, why not? Actually, axiomatic also adds bonus damage, doesn't it? So that's obviously a big upgrade for Regil, if we were using him. Welcome to the slaughterhouse. Delightful. Alright, let's re-up our bless, I think. Oh, yeah.
Well?
And on to the next battle. Oh, and let's patch Layla. There you go, sweetheart. Sorry about that. Emergency help is fun, but I do feel like it would have been a better fit for So-So than Darren. Darren starts every fight staggered. In the visage of the ghoul before you, one can barely recognize the Honorable Viscely Rathimus, your regimental cleric. His fuzzy gray beard is gone, along with his other hair, and his once lively face has grown gaunt and livid. The skull of the old cleric is cracked open, and whitish larvae wriggle inside, but this seems not to bother him at all. Heretics! Dirty slaves of false gods! The cleric paces up and down before a desecrated altar, on which an unholy symbol of Cabriri has been drawn. A group of ghouls have brought the soldiers to kneel before him. Renounce your idols! Bow down before him who gnaws, or you shall be sacrificed upon his altar. No, never! Holy Iomade, hear me now! I will gladly die before I renounce you! A sacrifice! The old man's claws sink into the soldier's body. Shuddering in pain, the latter whispers a prayer through his teeth. Well, who will be the first to taste flesh? Who will take Cabriri's communion? I will. A pale woman looks at the cleric. Her eyes are glassy with madness. I renounce, Sarenrae. Hail to Cabriri. I will do anything you say. Oh, that's interesting. Don't listen to his wicked words. The good gods won't forsake you, and neither will I. The bloody faces of the soldiers light up with hope. One of them whispers a prayer, and bright light bathes the vaults of the desecrated church. The undead shriek with unnatural force. This chapel was a stronghold of faith for those that worship the noble gods. Today we restore goodness to its rightful home. Well. By the light of the sword, praise the inheritor. A figure in simple knight's armor appears next to the fighters and strikes down the nearest ghoul with one blow. Well, I have to assume that's going to make this fight significantly easier. So that's obviously one of the perks to bringing her along. With the cost, I suppose, being shutting down certain tactics, like if we had tried to weaponize the Vescavor goo.
I'll make short work of this.
Oof, this is awkward. Wish we'd gotten through the door before this fight started. Oh. Well, perhaps slightly more caution is in order. What a weird place for a trap. So much for Raximus. We'll save our spell slots. No? Don't feel like a follow-through? Fair enough.
Into the fray!
The Queen greets you with a nod as she closely examines her sword. Her lips are pursed and her eyes are burning with rage. This church. I knew it well in its days of grandeur. I remember the voices of 100 warriors soaring through its vaults in a common prayer. I remember the holiness of the rector, the weight of his hand on my forehead when he blessed me before battle. On this very spot I stood with my 3 friends who had not lived to see this day. But to see the den of depravity those demons have turned it into, it is almost more than I can bear. Darren's eyes widen in astonishment. The simple armor deceived me, but I'd know that voice anywhere. What? The Queen stops him with a raised hand. Not now. I'm glad you broke free of your captors, my Queen. Ha! Galfrey remains subdued, but the question seems to have lifted her mood. Better than that, I deliberately let them seize me back there at the camp, hoping to quickly find the other prisoners and help whomever I could. I am a chosen paladin of Iomedae. Few demons pose a real threat to me. I took a risk in letting them seize me, but not a great one. It would have only gotten dangerous if the gargoyles' masters revealed my identity and called in greater demons as reinforcements. Admit it, you were worried about me, were you not? Of course I was worried. There's nothing to admit. You need not have worried. I can fend for myself. Yeah, I'll say. We'll put an end to the evil that's at work here. We surely will. Canabris was the first step. Purging this church of demonic filth is our second. And Dresden will soon follow. Well then, off we must go. I'll get these soldiers to safety. You can stay and clear the area, Commander. Well, I mean, it's not like we've got a Nabasu and an army of ghouls and a bunch of other soldiers to rescue, but, sure, bye. An Amulet of Agile Fists +2, and a Shield of Magical Retribution. +2 Light Shield. Upon being struck by an enemy's touch attack, that enemy suffers 2d6 force damage. Interesting, but as a general rule of thumb, I tend not to really favor items that rely on us being hit. I prefer to plan around not being hit, if at all possible. The ritual circle, drawn in blood on the floor of the desecrated church. It is covered with the unholy symbols of the Lords of the Abyss. I like it. Really ties the room together. The altar exudes the last remains of the holy power that once ruled over this place. I'm not sure we can actually check our current corruption level without actually resting. We'll go ahead and use it anyway. It certainly couldn't hurt. And on we go. Graveyard. These ghouls have been maimed even more brutally than the others. Bulky lenses are sewn over their eyes, and various tools from scissors to drills are attached to their fingers. Their bodies are pincushions for long, rusty needles, threads still in them. They are plying their work on bound-up soldiers, still alive but with no strength to even moan from the unbearable pain. One of the ghoul craftsmen works his finger blades dexterously, slowly removing the scalp from the female warrior, all while chatting to her cheerfully. "You won't need this hair. Ghouls don't have any. It would all fall out anyway. Yours is good, though, nice and long. We'll make thread out of it. Hair makes good thread. Maybe we'll use it to sew something onto you. Too bad paladins can't become like us. The light they have inside burns away our gift too quickly. I used to have a good paladin friend when I was alive. We both got bitten. I was transformed, but he just stayed the way he was. I had to gobble him up. That was too bad. If he hadn't believed in his little goddess, he'd still be having fun with us now." Another methodically tears off a soldier's fingernails, one by one, sewing on razor blades in their place. "The living like to swing their swords. When you're one of us, you'll forget all about those silly weapons with handles. Better to kill the enemy with your hands, sink your fingers into their meat, let the smell out, feel the warm blood spraying. That is what happiness is." How terrible, disgusting, indecent. This talk about meat and blood makes me sick. Camellia inhales deeply and licks her lips. Okay. Terrible things were done to these ghouls. Now they show gentle care to their prisoners, in their words and deeds. Just like some good knights. Ha! Darren's brows leap up. Quite the razor tongue you have there. You should write political sketches for the paper. What do you mean? Did I say something wrong? Sorry, please, I didn't mean to. I just talk about what I see. Quite right, my dear. Quite right. Finian's voice trembles. I've seen this before. Only there was a hearth and an anvil, and... no. I can't remember. Alright, let's go ahead and cancel this horror show, shall we? Busy with their disgusting work, the ghouls don't notice as you sneak up on them and strike. Okay, so we have 2 prisoners to rescue? Yeah, one on each table. And then the one up here has a huntsman on him, and huntsmen are broken. So that means our main priority is to clear the left table. We need to move in, take these guys out, or at least block them. And we'll send one person up to delay the creeper on the other guy.
I'm all ears.
Fingers crossed.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
Nice. That is an excellent start.
Out of my sight.
We'll get Creed on the other one. That is disappointing. Oh well.
take you!
You won't survive me.
Yes. Now we need this guy. Uh-oh. Oh, thank goodness. Fantastic. What have they done to me? My face. It's still human, isn't it? We almost became like them. Oh, and we also got a level up. I did not anticipate that. We're so close to the end that it feels kind of pointless to jam through a level up. But on the other hand, it would make the final boss fight easier. Let me think about that. I did notice that the Stalker, I think, actually does have a hook for a hand. That's a nice touch. Though it does make you wonder if they'd actually be able to paralyze with a built-in weapon like that. Some ghouls have pinned a soldier to a tombstone covered with fresh blood. He doesn't fight back, but only begs them in a weak voice. "Don't eat me, please. I don't want that." "Did you hear? He doesn't want it." "Well, all right, let him go then. Dinner is cancelled. Let's go home." The ghouls burst into shrieking laughter. "What if we really don't eat you? No one will touch you, you have my word. But first you'll have to do something. Eat some of my meat." The ghoul tears a chunk of rotten flesh from his body and shakes it in front of the soldier's face. "Eat it! Eat it! Eat it all and we'll let you go. But if you spit any out, we'll rip you to pieces." The soldier looks in terror at the piece of half-decayed meat dangling in front of his face and vomits on the tombstone. The ghouls laugh hysterically. I've eaten a lot of cave delicacies in my time, but raw ghoul flesh doesn't sound like it would be very good for your stomach. Are you familiar with the phrase, "you are what you eat"? It's drivel concocted by the medical establishment to make people spend less money on delicious food and more money on doctor's visits. But on this occasion, the adage is perfectly true. Busy torturing their prisoner, the ghouls don't notice you approaching until the very end. Oof. Rough terrain on this one. Alright, we need to pick off the cleric first. Half down. Moving to engage.
I will see to your demise.
Die, please. Dare we risk another burning arc? Yeah, let's go for it. Wow. Yeah, okay. I just gotta stop targeting their reflex. There we go. Okay, okay. Yes. This one next.
Precision and grace.
You are today's sacrifice!
Excellent. No. No. No! Oh, we were so close. And you know what kills me? Is that I bet if we had done that level up, our base attack bonuses would have been high enough to land some extra hits there. Ah.
Make short work of this.
Go for their heart!
Well, sorry, buddy. We tried. An epitaph written in Tian is etched into the stone. I lost my honor in my homeland. I regained it here. Sure, why not? I'm sad now. Up. Okay, interesting. So obviously that warrior fought his way free, but then both he and the gargoyle fell to their deaths. That is a nice bit of visual storytelling. I like that. Still sad, though. My whole life is a dark room. One big, dark room. Because I'm recording this at 3 in the morning. Alright, well, I'm over it. Let's go ahead and jam through these level ups real quick. Might as well eke out some final bonuses. That's it. I'm not going to put too much thought into this. I did not plan for this, and it's not going to matter beyond this session, so I'm just going for short-term bonuses. Ooh. As a swift action, grant charisma bonus to attack and damage rolls for all allies within 30 feet. Wow, okay. Yeah, the problem we're running into with Lion's Call at this point is that now that we're mounted, it's really difficult to justify spending an action just to grant +1 bonuses to nearby allies. For the king, however, is much more versatile. Ooh, and weapon specialization. Nice. Oh, and enemy's bane, too. Yeah, this stuff really would have made a difference in that graveyard fight. Well, live and learn. Except for that guy who's dead. And then this, literally, doesn't matter, because she doesn't have any 4th level slots prepared. You know, I've never used Volcanic Storm before. It never really looked like it scaled well. But it is thematic for Ember. But again, totally meaningless. We are not going to be resting before the end of this session. Same thing with Darren. He can't actually use these spells until he rests. Ooh, and some new options for Lan. In one of my test campaigns, I actually experimented with converting Lan into a Demon Slayer Ranger right after I picked him up. And it worked out pretty well. He does lose a few feats, I think, but I feel like he more than made up for it with his favored enemy bonuses against all demons, plus, of course, his bonus animal companion. Alright, level up hastily taken care of. Let me just shuffle a few things around here and I think we're good to go. Oh, I also experimented to see if you could ride a companion's pet, and sadly you cannot. It just tells you don't own that animal, and thus you cannot ride it. Which is a shame. And moving on. The disgusting stench of rotten flesh fills the room. Human bodies are impaled on iron hooks, hanging from the ceiling, like cattle in a slaughterhouse. Some of them are still, while others shift and moan. You hear a faint female voice, whispering a prayer. "Holy Iomade, deliver us." The voice coughs wetly. "Deliver us from the darkness by your hand." After casting her eyes around the room, Camellia wets her lips and pointedly pinches her nose. "Commander Tyrabade," the soldier's voice trembles. I don't want to die." "You won't die, soldier. You won't die. They'll come for us. The commander is on his way. Pray with me. Come on." "Holy Iomade, don't leave us." The soldier coughs weakly. "Don't leave." The soldier's voice fades. "Come on, can you hear me? Come on, speak! Speak!" The soldier's hoarse voice grows louder, and then comes the cracking sound of torn flesh. "I'm hungry."
They will break against our resolve.
Yeah, I'm glad we just hung out in the doorway while that played out. Though I suppose if he was already that far gone, there's not a whole lot we could have done for him anyway.
No glory without risk.
Commander. Irabeth has been impaled on a metal hook and is barely breathing. Her lips move slowly, and blood pours from her mouth with every word. You came. She's hurting. Probably worse than I was in the fire. We'll heal you, Irabeth, but... Ember touches her shoulder. You'll have scars. Maybe not on your body, but you'll have some. Cursing, Seela rushes to help Irabeth. With your help, Irabeth gets off the hook. She sways with a moan, but remains standing. You suffered a great deal. You're lucky to be alive. I am. This boy isn't. I've also been bitten. She lowers her head, and you see a fresh bite on her neck. Praise the Inheritor, she protects me from infection. Otherwise, I'd be like him. What lies further ahead? Did you see anything? Staunton Vane, the fallen paladin of Dresden. He is here, with the demoness. It's a trap. Please, be careful. That waste of space is still alive. Back at the Great Garrison, I thought that eyeless beast only took him with her as a snack for the road. Can you walk? Anivia is waiting at the foot of the hill. She'll help you. Yes, I'll get there. Thank you, Commander. Yikes. Yeah, as Ember implied, depending on a number of factors, including how the player approaches it, Irabeth can end up suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, which can have some pretty significant effects on how the siege on Dresden plays out. And I imagine it just snowballs in the later acts if the player doesn't get it under control.
Are we in trouble yet?
Alright, I think we're just about as ready as we're ever going to be. Let's go knock over some toy soldiers.
Wow. Hello there.
Okay, that's probably fine.
Up two, keep it up! Well, how do you like my soldiers? Oh, so much prettier than yours, aren't they? And my games, so much more fun!
The ghouls march in the square before the bell tower to the tune of Nulkaneth's cheerful laughter. You see living soldiers among them, wounded, frightened to death, struggling to march in step with the undead.
Playing soldiers? How old are you? 8?
The disgrace. Our camp was ravaged by an overgrown child with wings.
Darling, look who's here. It's the commander, come to return what he stole from you. It should have been you in command of this army, and these powers. They should have been yours.
You see 2 familiar figures in the bell tower. The fallen crusader Staunton watches marching ghouls with grim disgust. Minago takes him by the chin, her sharp claw leaving a scratch on his cheek, and turns his face to you.
Oh, darling, why so sad? Oh, please, sweetheart, say something. When you're like this, it makes me sad too. You don't want me to be sad, do you? Come on, smile. I did everything you wanted, even better than you wanted. The fools who humiliated you got what they deserved, Can you hear them scream? And now their commander will be torn to pieces along with them. Oh, it's sure to be a fine show. Just for the two of us. And we have the best seats in the house.
Her sharp nails sink deeper into the dwarf's skin, and the demon's lips draw close to his face. He winces.
This is too much. They deserve death, and what happened in Canabris was fair punishment. But this depraved torture. Order your creature to finish them off, and we'll be done here.
Sweetie, don't tell me what to do. We were too soft on them, I think. Just remember the way they humiliated you. And for what? For your part in a heroic feat? And now they would take Dresden from you? Each of them deserves 100 deaths. The only thing unfair about this is that we can kill them only once. There now. Don't pout. Kiss me, my love, and let's enjoy the spectacle.
Her clawed fingers release the dwarf's face and move lower, stroking his broad chest. A tongue resembling a fat crimson slug crawls out of Onago's mouth, and she reaches out to Staunton's face. The dwarf turns away, and the demon's tongue leaves a moist trail of slime on his cheek. Gross.
Hey! Hey! What are you looking at? Look at me! I'm right here! Do I need to bite your soldiers' heads off for you to notice me? I can do it, you know.
Staunton, don't listen to her. She'll eat you as soon as you stop being useful.
Of course she'll eat him. Or rather, she would have eaten him, but we are going to kill them both. Pity. I should have enjoyed watching the lapdog dying at his mistress's claws. I shall have to seek alternate entertainment today.
Staunton, come out of there. Come back to us. You know what you're mixed up in is beyond vile. We can help you.
He won't hear. He won't listen to anyone anymore. Now he only talks to his regrets.
Such touching concern. What would you buy with it? Your life? You think I will defend you? Ask Monago to spare you? And then you'll fall to your knees? What a pathetic sight!
Stop talking! I hate idle chatter! Now, Kenneth, sweetie, bring me his head!
The monster looks at you, and for a moment you feel once more that there is no one here besides the two of you. You feel his power, the same power granted to you. You realize that a battle is coming, the likes of which you've never endured before. But your opponent will soon realize the same. You feel his power, and his fear. A moment later, the monster strikes. Okay, let's do this.
I'll cut you wide open.
It's unbearable. The roars of Nulkeneth, the hissing of the ghouls, the moans of the wounded and dying. All this melds into a terrifying cacophony, an agonizing song of the tormented world. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. This shouldn't be happening. It won't happen. Anger, pain, fear, all emotions subside. Boundless, triumphant power rises from somewhere deep within you. Now you only feel hope. A blinding flash illuminates the battlefield, lighting up the ghouls with their bared teeth. Rage and terror flash across the demon's twisted muzzle, and the despair on the people's faces is replaced with joy. Neat. Man, we took a big chunk out of this guy right off the bat.
Endure this!
.31 AC. So we got lucky with those first few swings. It was worth a shot. Oh boy. Oh, okay. It's unbearable. Wait. No. This isn't supposed to trigger twice. Oh, you know what it is? I think he healed back above the trigger threshold, and then we just knocked him back below it again. So it ended up triggering again. That's obviously not intended.
The spirits demand your blood!
Let's patch Cam. Or not. Figured I'd stack the odds in our favor, considering its spell resistance.
Minago! What is this? How could this be? You deceived me, you wretch! You promised I'd become...
The dying monster at your feet raises its snout to the ugly sky of the world wound.
How? This shouldn't have... Why? Staunton, what is this? What should we do?
The demon yelps and covers her mouth with her hand. She grabs her companion by the shoulders and yells.
I can't do anything with these sores. It's no use. Darling, please do something.
Occult symbols appear on her face, and they flush red like bloody ulcers.
Calm down. I said quiet. First, just get us out of here. Then we'll decide what to do.
The dwarf gives her a sharp slap on the cheek.
Right. Let's fly away quickly.
Holding Staunton close to herself, Minago disappears. Nulkineth lets out a long grunt and freezes at your feet, like a dirty heap of bloody fur. It grows quiet, no roaring or shrieking of monsters, no moaning of the wounded, no clamor of weapons. The dawn rises over the desecrated chapel.
What do you feel? Power? New abilities? All of this is so exciting.
Camelia's cheeks grow red and her eyes are gleaming. She lazily kicks the body of the dead Nabasu.
I need a mattress, preferably a magical one, so it will fly along wherever I go, and be ready if you start shaking again. It's no fun getting thrown to the rocks.
What an unexpected sensation. like a sip of the finest wine, a soul-sapping caress. The night was difficult, but for that ending, it was worth it.
The Aasimar rubs his hands over his face in pleasure. Always gotta make things awkward, don't you?
How pretty. The sun is rising. Something is burning in you too, illuminating everything around you like the sunrise.
Ember looks at the breaking dawn.
I'll be damned. That power again. It's so strange. It doesn't seem like Iomede's intervention. The gods rarely interfere in mortal affairs, and never twice in a row.
What's done cannot be undone. We'll have time to ponder this. But now, let's go. The rays of the rising sun light up the gruesome battlefield, where once again you felt the strange surge of power. The road awaits. And thus, our early access adventure comes to an end. Hey, you survived. Congratulations, buddy. Seriously, I did not think any of those guys made it through. Nulkeneth lies dead at our feet. Staunton and Minago have fled in terror, and new mythic power swirls in our veins. The stage is set for the final battle of Dresden, and the closing of Act 2. Which I would have liked to include in this series, but seriously, I did a couple of test runs, and just the siege alone would have been like 2 or 3 episodes worth of content, and then there's a dungeon after that with puzzles and multiple boss fights. That would have easily taken us up to at least episode 50. And honestly, I probably spent too much time on it as it is. It's tough to resist playing these early access builds, and people kept asking for more, and Owlcat did surprise everyone with that last-minute 3rd beta build. So I mean, it felt like a waste to not do anything with it. We will need to retread a fair amount of familiar territory for the impending launch series, but I'm hoping that with a different character and different choices and consequences, plus the extra polish and content and voice acting that wasn't present in this series, I'm hoping that that will all justify restarting and still make it a fairly fresh and enjoyable experience. You know, not to mention, of course, that I won't be dithering around nearly as much. I have already played through Act 1 and 2 like 8 times now, between various characters and test campaigns, so I've got a pretty good idea of how to approach it. And as for the Kingmaker fans, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about that either. I am just trying to find a place to fit that and any number of other projects back into my production schedule. There are just so many games and so little time to touch on them all, especially when we end up with games like this one with Wrath dropping, which is easily going to end up being like a 100+ episode series. We're almost to the end of Act 2, and this is like just barely past the quarter mark of the full campaign. This is a massive game. Anyway, I am just rambling now, so let's go ahead and wind things down. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the series, which I assume you did if you made it this far. But hey, even if you didn't, feel free to let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be touching on a couple of other projects next week, and then we will be back with the full launch series in September. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel and see me make more videos like this one, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. As always, links are in the description.
Stop talking! I hate idle chatter!